Hello IP4. This is today our 7th video lesson, and today we're actually going to be starting a new chapter. So we finished capitalization and punctuation. Normally when we finish a chapter we will have a review lesson and then a unit test. But obviously since we are not in school we cannot really do a unit test. Hopefully when we are back in school we'll be able to do a review of chapter 5 and then hopefully do a unit test. So whenever we might be back in school we'll come back to chapter 5 later. We're not going to do a review today. I'm going to move on to the next chapter, chapter 6. And again, usually when we finish a grammar topic we move on to a writing topic. But we actually have 2 grammar topics that we need to do left and only 1 writing topic. So we're actually going to do another grammar topic today. We're going to start chapter 6, pronouns. Before we start chapter 6, we are just going to look at that last piece of homework that we did for chapter 5. So get your workbooks ready. We're going to look at the last lesson's homework. Okay, so in the second lesson last Friday, I set you this workbook page as your homework, workbook page 90. And what you had to do, you had to fix these sentences with quotation marks, capital letters, commas, and end marks to make them correct. So number 1, we've got quotation mark, capital B, ballooning is such an adventure, exclamation point, then a quotation mark, Faith exclaimed, full stop. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things you need to add to that sentence. If you made 1 mistake, you can have half a point. If you made more than 1 mistake, you get 0. Number 2, quotation mark, capital T, tell me how the balloon works, comma, not a full stop, a comma, quotation mark, said Pia, then full stop. Number 3, Pia asked, comma, quotation mark, capital D, do people race balloons, question mark, quotation mark. And number 4, Don exclaimed, comma, quotation mark, I think balloon racing would be great, exclamation point, quotation mark. So give yourselves a score out of 4 there. Okay, section B, there were 8 mistakes that we had to fix. So we need to add punctuation and capitalization to fix the 8 mistakes. In 1783, 2 French brothers sent a duck, a rooster, and a sheep up in a hot air balloon. You need a full stop after balloon. Are we in a giant canopy bed? Asked the sheep. We need to take this quotation mark after sheep and move it to after the question mark. So that's the second mistake. What are those flames? We need to add a question mark and a quotation mark, cried the duck. Capital W, we're flying, exclamation point, cried the sheep. The exclamation point needs to go before the quotation mark. The rooster said, comma, capital W, we must be on a special mission from King Louis XVI. We are teaching humans to fly. So we've got 1, this is number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So again, give yourselves a score out of 8 and a total on the page out of 12. Okay, so like I've already told you, we've now finished, for now, chapter 5, capitalization and punctuation, and we're moving on to chapter 6, pronouns. Now, we did pronouns last year in IP3, so I hope that you remember what pronouns are. We have talked about them a few times this year as well. So lesson 1, what is a pronoun? Now, a few months ago, we did a chapter about nouns, And we know that a noun is a word that names either a person, a place, or a thing. A pronoun is a shorter word that we can use instead of a noun or other nouns in a sentence. Now, when we are writing, we will often name a person or a place or a thing. It would sound strange if we kept using their name several times in a sentence or in a paragraph. Instead of writing their name many times, we use a pronoun after we've already introduced the person, place, or thing to keep referring to it without using its name. So I wouldn't really say, Khan asked Lipta if Lipta wanted to play with Khan. I've already named Khan and Lipta. I shouldn't really use their names again in the same sentence. Instead, I would say, Khan asked Lipta if she referring to Lipta, wanted to play with him referring to Khan. So we use pronouns instead of names after we've already introduced their names. Now, in the next few lessons, we're going to talk about different ways that we can use pronouns. But for now, all I want you to remember is that nouns can be singular or plural. And that means pronouns can be singular or plural as well. Singular, of course, means there's only one, and plural means that there's at least two or more than two. So singular pronouns are I, me, you, he, him, she, her, and it. And plural pronouns are we, us, you, they, and them. You'll notice that you can be singular and plural. I can say you when I'm talking to one person, or I could say you when I'm talking to a group of people. Okay, look at page 204 and look at questions 1 to 5. You need to do two things. First, you need to find the pronoun in the sentence. Then, you need to tell me if the pronoun is singular or plural. So number 1, Sarah said, come with us to the seashore. You need to find the pronoun in that sentence, circle or underline the pronoun, and then after the sentence, write either the word singular or plural to tell whether that pronoun is singular or plural. As usual, if you have your textbook, do it in your textbook. If you do not have your textbook, find some paper and write the pronoun for each number and whether it is singular or plural. So when I have finished speaking, please pause the video and answer questions 1 to 5 and press play when you have finished. So please pause now. Okay, if you have finished up to question 5, keep watching for the answers. Number 1, Sarah said, come with us to the seashore. The pronoun is us, and us is plural. Number 2, Leah carried a pail. She wanted to collect shells. The pronoun is she, and she is singular. Number 3, Brett took a notebook. Sarah asked him to take notes. The pronoun is him, and him is singular. Number 4, Leah saw a sea star. Brett wrote about it in the book. The pronoun is it, and it is singular again. And number 5, you are good scientists, Sarah told Leah and Brett. Now this is a little bit trickier. The pronoun is you, and we know that you can be singular or plural, so you had to use your brains a little bit. But it says scientists, and Sarah is speaking to Leah and Brett. So you is being used as a plural pronoun. So give yourselves a score out of 5. Now look at page 205. This looks more tricky than it is. We have a word that has been underlined. And in the same sentence or quotation, there is a pronoun that stands for that underlined word. So Brett said, I see a large pink shell. So Brett is the person speaking, and he uses the pronoun I. I is the word that stands for Brett. So you need to write the word I. So, should we take this shell? Asked Brett and Leah. Find a pronoun in the sentence that refers to Brett and Leah. So, you've got to do questions 6 to 13. Find the pronoun that is referring to the underlined word or words. So again, when I've finished speaking, pause the video, press play when you have finished up to number 13. So please pause now. Okay, have you finished up to number 13? Then let's look at the answers. Okay, number 6. Should we take this shell? Asked Brett and Leah. Brett and Leah are speaking. We is the pronoun that refers to them. Number 7. Sarah asked Brett and Leah, what do you hear inside the shell? Sarah is speaking to Brett and Leah, and she uses you to refer to them. Number 8. Brett and Leah listened. The noise reminded them of the ocean. Them refers to Brett and Leah. Number 9. Sarah told Brett that he has found a queen conch shell. He refers to Brett. Number 10. I see that the shell is empty, said Leah. Leah is speaking, so she uses the pronoun I. This book will tell us about the conch, said Brett and Leah. So Brett and Leah use us. Number 12. The conch is a kind of snail. It lives in the sea. The conch is the noun, and it is the pronoun that replaces it. And number 13, once there were many of these snails, now they are rare. The pronoun they refers to the snails. So please give yourselves a score out of 8 for that section. I hope by now you've all got 8 out of 8, because there's only a few pronouns in those sentences. If you've got less than 8, it's probably because you've made a mistake following the instructions. Okay. Your homework for this lesson is Workbook Page 94. Make sure you finish page 94 before you watch the next lesson on Friday. On Friday, you'll have 2 lessons, and in the first lesson, I will tell you the answers. Now, I'm going to explain Workbook Page 94. Please listen to this, because I found it a little bit tricky when I was doing the answers in the book. Okay. So this is Workbook Page 94. You've got 10 sentences. It says, write the pronouns in these sentences, then write the underlined words that they replace. So you are not copying the full sentence. You write the pronoun first, then write the words that the pronoun refers to. So I'm actually going to show you an example that I've done today. So let us think of a way to clear up litter, said Matt and Lynn. You write the pronoun us first, then Matt and Lynn is who us refers to. So you write the pronoun, then you write the words that it refers to. In some of the sentences, there are 2 words being referred to by 2 different pronouns. So you'll have to make sure that it's clear when you are writing. Okay, IP4, that is the end of this lesson. So we will check Workbook Page 94 on Friday. Until then, thank you IP4. Bye-bye.